I'm Carly. I'm going to bind a book at home today, and I wanted to show you how I do that in case you also have a book that you want to bind at home using things you probably already have around the house. Okay, so to sew a book, you'll just need to collect a few things from around your home, such as a hammer and a nail, just a small wire nail like you might use to hang a picture on the wall. You'll also need a needle and craft thread or embroidery floss. This is really strong because it's several strands of thread woven or twisted together already. You'll also need a ruler and a pencil to mark your holes, and pliers like this if the needle is difficult for you to grip to pull through the pages of the book. These will help a lot. Another important thing to put under your book as you're hammering through it is a board or a piece of cardboard. I just tore this off of an Amazon box. Something to protect my counter so I don't end up with holes in it. Okay, to get my books printed in the first place, I swap out the normal 20 weight paper that's already in the printer with 24-pound weight paper. This will yield a more durable and readable book because you won't be able to see the print on the opposite side of the page. We will also need a couple of binder clips to get our book clamped together. Okay, so I got my pages cut, or with some programs you'll end up having to fold them. Get your pages the right size in the right order and clamped with your binder clip. Also, before doing this, I ran a sheet of cardstock through the printer to just print the cover page on. So I cut that in half, so I have cardstock on the top and bottom of my book. The distance from the edge of the book matters a lot because you don't want it to be too close to the edge that the pages would tear out, but you also don't want to put it too far in that you wouldn't be able to see the words. So look at what you are binding and place your holes accordingly. I first marked a dot with my pencil, 1/4 inch in and up from each corner there. I'm going to line up my ruler between them and place dots now every 1/2 inch apart. So again, the corners are just 1/4 inch from the edge, and the space between each of the holes is 1/2 inch. If you're making a book on an 8.5 by 11 inch paper, you can increase these to 1/2 inch and then the space between the other holes to 1 inch. It will hold together about the same. Alright, I've got my holes. It's important that we end up with an odd number of holes just because of the way we sew it that you'll see in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 holes. Great. We are ready to hammer. Okay, once your holes are made, and again there's 17 of them if you've got a booklet size, the corners are 1/4 inch away and then there are 1/2 inch spaces between each hole. I'm ready to start sewing. So I've got my embroidery floss on my needle, and I'm going to start on the back of the book at the top hole, just like so. It's important to start at the top, I think, because we hold the books more at the bottom, and I don't want that extra stress added to my knot at the end. So I want to end back at the top where I start. We're going to leave some slack. I didn't really measure the thread. It's about 6 book lengths plus some slack to have room to tie my knot at the end. So this is the back. Okay, pulling it through, and when I have a little tail there, I'm going to leave enough to tie with. Can you see? Okay. I'm also going to use my binder clip to just clamp the thread under, and that holds it taut as I sew. Alright, now once I am again through the back side on the top hole. The next step will be to go around and back up through the exact same hole there. And then once you are around there, being careful not to get your thread all in knots, you will go down to the second hole through the front. There's my knots, let's see. Okay, once we've gone up and around from the back, we're going to go down. Now that I'm coming from the back again, I'm going to go around and into the second hole one more time. Okay, I've gone around that hole. I'm in the back again, so I'm going to come up through the third hole, maybe. There we go. Okay. And you guessed it, around and back through the same hole again. All right, I'm ready to go through my fourth hole. So as we go, the pattern you're going to see was up and around, and then down and around. Up and around, and now we've gone down, and we're going to go around again. And then up and around again. Whoop. Okay, now I'm up through the fifth hole, and I'm going to try to go around and up that same hole again. There we go. Okay. So whether or not you're coming from the front or the back of the book, you want to go around each hole twice so that at each hole you see a thread coming to the edge of the book. And as you go down the book, every other space between the holes will be with a thread, and every other space will be without a thread. And next I will show you what to do when you've reached the bottom, how to get back up the top and finish it. And now I'm coming up my last hole. All you do to get back up to the top and ready to tie is weave in and out, thus closing every other gap you see here. Sweetie, it's hard to see. There we go. So the finished product is nice and even, and it's very strong. When you hold it, it doesn't feel at all like it's going to give. Oh, I'm sorry. That was loud. Okay, I'm coming through the second to last hole up here, which brings my thread to the back of the book again. And at this point, I can unclip where I started from to tie my knot. Whoa. And I'm going to tie it right next to the first hole. Close as I can. One thing I've done before is brought my needle back up through the first hole just to hide the end, and I actually trimmed the excess off through the hole. And then secure the knot if you want to with a little dab of Elmer's glue, and your book will be ready to read. Thank you so much for watching the video of how I bind my books using a sewing method. I hope you enjoy your books.